Alright, and picking up back off where we left off at. Before I get into the video, I do want to say thank you to my 14th and 15th subscriber. I really appreciate the support and appreciate anybody taking the time to watch this video. But let's get right into it. So, pretty much I had launched a naval invasion or a amphibious invasion, correction, on the UK and started seizing some of the territory. Also dealing with pockets of resistance in Belgium and northern Germany, and still dealing with some pockets of resistance in this part of Germany too. So, and Norway. So cleaning up those areas right now, just trying to take care of that. And let's see, we're doing all right. It's in favor, the war, us winning the war. It's pretty much it's in favor of us. Hopefully we can claim victory soon. I know the UK is on the precipice of collapsing, but Australia's in, Canada, New Zealand. It's like a lot of countries on the NATO side, pretty much you could say. So Germany's done, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands, they're all done. Greece. America has 7 to 12 divisions, and yeah, they have some of the most casualties too, 679,000 casualties. And parts of Africa, which that's interesting too, is they're participating in it too, but they only have like maybe 1 or no divisions at all. So that's interesting. Now let's see, let's select a national focus. So we can expand the Siberian railways, but we also need to focus on industrial expansion in the Belarusian area. So we're gonna go for that. Our manpower is at 4 million. Let's see. We're doing okay in terms of equipment. So let's go ahead and play and get started. Yeah, so we're gonna try and finish that area off and continue pushing this way. We may have to make landfall in Northern Ireland also. Alright, so we're done researching the D-20 artillery piece. So, let's see. I feel like we should still continue going for artillery. There's anti-air, and then there's just straight up, I guess, artillery. And we also got done with fighter dragging, so that's good. So we're moving it along with the research. There's the D-30. And then this is self-propelled, but we're already ahead. So I think we're doing fine in terms of artillery. Maybe we could go for anti-tank. And alpha maneuvers, maybe we'll move into that. We want to move into that. So we have close air support and interception. So that will help us out when we're trying to establish air superiority. So the UK's collapse. It says the United Kingdom has capitulated. Nikita Khrushchev has announced that the cowardly British nation could no longer withstand the pressure of the overwhelming presence of Soviet forces throughout the country. And so it also tells us that the British government chose to flee in exile, which means they probably set up shop somewhere else. and we're on our way to defeating or destroying NATO.
Готов.
In the meantime, we're gonna try and mop up Norway. So,
Готов.
what is it? Let's see.
Готов.
We need to go ahead. We can finish them off by seizing Northern Ireland, and go ahead and see if we could do a naval invasion. So that's good. They're out the war. Let's see. They've taken on. We're up there in numbers of 2 in terms of casualties, but they've taken on 2.7 million. And they only have 470 to 713,000 out in the field. I mean, you could say we're at 4 million, or we were at 4 million. But yeah, we've taken out at least close to maybe 6 countries at this point. Yeah. So now this allows us, I guess, what we can do once we're done with that is possibly go for Spain and Portugal, because they're all tied up in here. So that's going to be important to take them on and deal with that. But maybe we could create, see if we could establish some kind of diplomatic relation with Austria. Try to get them into the fold. Modern all out pretty much on diplomacy and all this other stuff. But that makes sense because the Cold War was all about who could influence who. You know, it was a bipolar, not bipolar, but it was 2 different blocks, 2 different powers. You know, of course, the Warsaw Pact and the Soviets, and then of course NATO and America. We could go ahead and influence them, so let's just go ahead and see if we could influence them. And right now, yeah, we're at the top. We're at 4%. Italy is at 1%, and then Germany is at 0. The rest are at 0%. Well, these 2 don't exist anymore. But anyways, so we're at the top. Hopefully we can continue to influence them throughout the conflict. So it'll grow over time. Because if we get them into the Warsaw Pact, or I don't know, maybe we might have to forcefully do it, but I don't know. Hopefully we could get them into the Warsaw Pact, and then that'll be easier for the Warsaw Pact to take care of Italy, since they're in the war. And let's see what's going on with Italy's combat strength. They have like 8 to 11 divisions, a lot of aircraft, close to like 1,500 to 1,700 aircraft. No ships, so that's good. We don't have to worry about Navy. I think, matter of fact, let me check the British. And do they even have much of a Navy left? They still do. Yeah, they have 257 ships. Once we can get rid of them, I mean, we don't have to worry about their naval presence. But what we do have to worry about is America's navy, because they're close to 300 or 260 to 300 ships, and they have a ridiculous sized air force. Not much of a ground force. But let's see. We have a decent amount of air power. Of course, we could always have more and go from there, but let's just continue. Wow, Mao Zedong is forcing a permanent retirement. It says after several attempts to use young, impressionable revolutionaries to gain power, the chairman of the former president Mao Zedong has been forcing a permanent retirement by CPC leadership. After the catastrophic famine following his attempt to jumpstart Chinese industry and agriculture with the Great Leap Forward, Mao stepped down from his role as the chairman of the People's Republic of China and simply maintained his position as chairman of the Communist Party of China. However, his role is in recent chaos caused by young upstarts as an attack on the party as well as the leaders of the People's Republic of China, especially Chairman I'm probably going to butcher this, Xiaokui. The former chairman is now permanent house arrest at his state-owned residence in Beijing, though he will doubtlessly be remembered as a heroic figure in proletariat history. He will spend the rest of his life on the sidelines of the revolution. He is but a relic of old wars. Ironically, Shinto, so they lead the Central Treaty. Shinto is Central Treaty Organization, so they're out of there. So that's gonna make things interesting for NATO. Let's see if we could try to influence. Let's select another national focus. Oh, Norway has capitulated. Again, same thing as last time, pretty much. Norway is a cowardly nation, that's what they're saying. And so yes, their government's in exile. But so we've capitulated Norway. That's great. So pretty much we have almost most of Europe in as part of the Soviet Union or the Warsaw Pact. This is like considered pretty much Soviet territory at this point, but yeah. Of course, MLK, March on Washington, another big movement. This is definitely historical focus. Just letting everybody know, this is definitely tied to historical focus. But I've always wondered what it would be like without following the historical timeline. And church bombings. So again, this follows what's been going on with the civil rights movement and dealing with that situation. So yeah, it's definitely picking up on the events for sure of what's been going on in the '60s. Apparently, that was a lot of domestic issues during the Cold War in terms of civil rights movement. And I think what's going to be interesting is I guess America going into Vietnam. That's going to be something that comes up soon enough. I mean, we're in '63 right now, so I believe it's around maybe 65, 66. You start seeing America deploying forces around that time period. 67 is like the heat of it for sure. And be interesting to see. I know Cuban Missile Crisis should be around 64 if I'm not mistaken too. So that's another big, milestone event too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens then. Right now we're at September of '63, and I think Cuban Missile Crisis took around October of '64, if anything. So yeah, those were tense times, really tense times. But anyways, all right, so that's done. I see Australia's trying to do their thing. And let's go ahead and have this guy come. Let's have him come down here. Oh, wow. They just naval invaded us.
Готов?
Coming down. East Germany requesting additional funds. Send a delegation. Yes, let's send funds to them. We'll send 100 million. We have plenty of money. That's quite unfortunate because I was trying to finish off the British, but instead I got naval invaded by by NATO. But I feel like NATO's on its last limb, and they're just trying to play their hand. They're on their last limb. You know, the Italians, and I don't know how many divisions Spain has. Let's see. Where's the Italians at? Let's just see how many they have. They have 8 to 11 divisions.
Давай, давай! Идем, идем! Слушаю.
You see credit. I mean, credit where credit's due at. I mean, that was pretty slick to just go ahead and land on this side, behind our lines. Appreciate the Lend-Lease, but let's see. Poland, is Poland doing that? Yes.
Почему это всегда мне достается? Здесь вражеские вертолеты не пролетали?
Я готов. Выходим.
Looks like the NATO forces are kind of pushing us back a little bit, and after that whole stalemate, our forces are pretty much stretched, which is why I probably need to finish. Just go ahead and just deploy these units, and maybe assign a new army. Create a new army and then go from there. Let's see. We've repelled back the amphibious invasion, and we're gonna have to keep a presence there for sure for now.
Слушаю.
So yeah, unfortunately we had to abandon the amphibious invasion of Northern Ireland. We came really close to launching it, but due to the fact that NATO launched an amphibious invasion, we had to again get rid of that and go ahead and do that, and then send another army unit over here. And so they're starting to push back, unfortunately. And it's just the sheer, even though we have the upper hand, that just goes to show. And it's like Netherlands is starting to get back their territory. Belgium's starting to get back their territory. I might have to, as much as I don't want to do this, I might have to
До приказа.
bring
До
this
приказа.
army over here to get involved. Because we are just losing ground pretty badly. And yes, I'll accept equipment for sure. I need all the help I can get right now.
До приказа. Выходим.
Economic system of socialism. Pretty much the German Democratic Republic announced the initiation of a new economic system of socialism. The planned policy has central planning and focus heavily on high technology and establishment of initiatives and growth to expand the economy to compete with the West and silence critics and argue previous economic models. The plan reduces funding in other sectors of the economy receiving offset issues in of these sectors or increasing debt. Will this save the German economy? Also, we gotta select another national focus. Compete with American scientists.
Внимание! До приказа.
They really are trying to build up their forces. I want to get them off the island so badly,
До
actually.
приказа. Готов?
Diplomatic Initiative Marigold. The American invasion of the Vietnamese jungles have continued to propose for some time, even though the United States of America's troops have made little progress. Lewandowski, our representative of the International Control Commission, proposed a diplomatic initiative called Marigold as part of the proposition. He would help to discern peace terms by acting the intermediary between North Vietnam and American ambassador to South Vietnam. There shall be peace in our time. Alright, so we're starting to push them back a little bit. It says a diplomatic initiative, best not to interfere, stop this attempt. Why don't we stop his attempts? So yeah, I'm gonna send that unit in the middle, so that way we can be prepared for like possibly the northern part, or
Выходим!
yeah, the northern part of the country.
Внимание!
And of course, I'm gonna have
Выходим!
a good portion of my units in the coastal area. Although we're probably gonna need to send, once we push these guys back, we're gonna need to send another army over there. Alright, so we're slowly pushing back. We have some units trickling in to stem the tide and push against NATO and hopefully beat them back.
Готов!
I don't know how they got Luxembourg back, so that's interesting.
До приказа.
Finally seized that one pocket of territory, so that worked out just fine. France giving them access to... Huh.
До приказа.
I was gonna say, I am doing pretty... I am... The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg has capitulated. I mean, they come back and then they get resurrected. You know who I do think is the problem right here? Let's see. Where does France fit into all this? They gave military access to all these NATO countries. The Netherlands is back with 2 to 4 divisions. I mean, this is unbelievable. And we're down to just 114 or 155 divisions. I'm hoping we could dish out some more units. But yes, reinforcements are finally arriving. I had to take some of my forces, even though I didn't want to leave them off the border with China. Although, I mean, I still have some units right here that will deal with China.
Внимание!
But anyways, I decided to go ahead and alleviate some of that by moving some of my forces this way into this theater, in the European theater, and of course, me being concerned about potentially another naval invasion on the UK or British territory. I'm leaving my troop station there, although I could go for a naval invasion here, but we'll see.
Жду приказа.
Maybe we could have them. Actually, since I have him, I could just go ahead, use him to go ahead and and go behind the territory and just deal with that while my reinforcements come up. So since France gave them military access, they're kind of like hiding behind that
Я готов.
shield.
Я готов. Выходим!
I'm hoping we can get a breakout or a breakout moment. It seems like we're kind of pushing them back up here in this area, and we managed to seize back a lot of territory. Alright, so I have him launching an amphibious, or doing amphibious support in that area, so we'll see if this unit will come down. Everything's in the green though, so that's good. That's been one hell of a push. I mean, they managed to seize Belgium and get the Netherlands back, but all because that one Australia division that managed to just go behind. And my Warsaw Pact divisions, really, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I wish I had more control over them. I wish that would be like a thing that you could do, is control puppet states, because technically, you know, the Soviet Union did have the Warsaw Pact divisions, you know, do and some of their planning to do a lot of the fighting. But anyways, and it was a very centralized system. It was a very centralized system they had in place for their military. So, you know, the Soviets were calling all the shots. They had the nukes and all that stuff, and you know, the Warsaw Pact states would have to do a lot of the fighting. Same with the Soviets. I mean, they mobilized it, but of course the puppet states were there to do the fighting. All right. All right, so we have a small breakout right here, actually.
Зададим жару! Так точно.
How did this division get there? That's kind of weird. It's like I'm having phantom divisions just come out of nowhere.
Готов.
I might have to deal with France too, because given the fact that, you know, they too are giving them military access, which is a no-no. They have 12 to 44 divisions, so that's an issue in itself. And the advantage would be to come through this way to get to Paris. They had the Winter Olympic Games. Technically, that wouldn't be allowed to happen because we're at war with everybody. So yes, we're starting to break out and push them back. We're gonna have to deal with France.
Не действуй, непобедим.
Alright guys, select another national focus. We can supply the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, so we can, since we're doing that, okay. Got that done. Indian arms, yeah, well of course we can't do that. Reinforce ties to the socialist world, sure. Oh, we're done with helicopter research, so we finally have helicopters. We have a lot of things done, okay. Why don't we go for another one? And let's see. We'll go for trade interdiction. Is there another one with WMDs? We'll do MERVs. I've always wondered, like, how do having WMDs, like, can we acquire these things? I know we can. I know they're on the tree, but it's like, what use are they on in terms of like the overall aspect of or impact they would have in a war or a nuclear war? I'm just kind of curious about that, but I know they have their own reasonings and all that stuff. But let's go ahead and do programming languages. So that's done. All right.
Слушаю. Выходим! Выходим! Готов!
All right. Now that they're in circle, we're gonna crush them.
Что приказывает? Выходим! Что приказывает?
I'm so glad I had this division up here.
Вперед! Выйти слева! Стоп! Внимание! Идем назад! Жду приказа. Готов выдвигаться.
Yeah, that's just exactly why I had to have this force station there. Because now they're trying to go after mainland UK, and if we can contain them there, then that's fine.
Так точно!
Отлично вас слышу.
Force concentration.
Выходим!
I guess I lost one of my like a good chunk of my division. Hopefully, once we're done with that, we can just deal with over here in northern Germany.
Слушаю! Выходим! Готов выдвигаться.
Republic of Gambia has joined the Italian Republic as an enemy of the Italian War. Wow.
Слушаю! Слушаю!
Alright, so we beat that naval invasion off, so America just keeps on sending divisions. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. How many do they have? 4 to 10?
Внимание!
Let me see something else. Europe is quite it's quite a headache to deal with. I mean, with NATO forces, but then again, it's World War III, so what do you expect? Their manpower, I mean, I'm sure is dwindling. Their field manpower, as ours is too. I mean, we lost like another 3 divisions. It's mopping up operations in Belgium and all that, so we're reclaiming Belgium and all that lost territory. Belgium has capitulated. Great.
Не действуй, не победишь.
Выходим!
What we need to do is go after France and then Spain and all that. Alright, so we're done with that. And I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it if you made it this far. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for the subscriptions and views. I really appreciate it. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video and take care. Have a great weekend.